Okay, before I start the what if, I know some of you guys are wondering why I'm not uploading like I used to. And it's because it's Ramadan in my country. So in Ramadan we don't eat from dawn to sunset. So from like 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. During this time I cannot talk a lot because I know it's going to sound weird because trust me, I rather walk and do my chores than talk because talking take a lot out of me more than walking for some reason. I know it's weird, believe me, but I am what I am, so hope you understand, and when Ramadan end, things should be returning to normal. And with that out the way, let's begin the what if and hope you enjoy it. Hello there guys, it's Bulukayan here, back on the video, and today I'm going to do what if Asta the boosted gear, part 2, hope you enjoy it. I really like that some of you guys enjoyed this what if, so here's part 2. So a bit of recap. Last part we covered the Magic Knight entrance exam, and Asta was taken by the Black Bulls immediately because Yami was inching about his boosted gear. And the fight in Sasi village against the Midnight Sun, and everything stayed the same except for Asta not getting hurt as much as the enemy. And the fight in the dungeon against Mars, and Asta discovered his Demon Slayer sword in there, on top of him unlocking the 3rd grade of his boosted gear. And you know, first time using magic spirit or spirit magic or whatever you want to call it. And they're meeting with the Wizard King and give him their advice about giving the results, and I think that is for the summary. Let's begin. So after what happened in dungeons, few days has passed. During this time, Asta tried his best to unlock his balance breaker, but he failed because he didn't find the trigger yet. So he kept himself busy by doing push-ups, sit-ups, so his normal routine, and he tried to learn how much he can boost himself before he debuff or burst. And Asta can boost himself 60 times, and when he reaches that limit he is quite powerful. The problem is he needs at least 10 minutes to reach that level, so doing a fight 10 minutes is a long time. Then out of nowhere, the Wizard King called Asta and Noel to the palace or the castle. He has some question about his demon dweller sword after reading the reports, especially the part that tell him about him using a water-based slash, and he want us to ask some questions. So Final take them to the palace, then he go roaming around. When they enter, they meet the Wizard King, he welcomes them, then they go to a private room and ask him about his demon dweller sword. Asta tells him he doesn't know how to activate that technique again. He did try though, but he failed. Then he handed him to him, and when the Wizard King grabbed the sword, his magic started getting sucked by it. After he realized that, he gave it back to Asta and tell him you are the only one who can use that sword. Then he addressed Drake and tell him, last time you tell me that you are the second or one of the 2 sky dragon or something, so there is another one like you. Drake told him yes and no. Sure, he is also a dragon, but we are total opposite. The Wizard asked him how so. Drake replied, my power let me boost myself or my partner each 10 seconds. But his power let him take other people's strength each 10 seconds by cutting it in half each 10 seconds. The Wizard King told him, I see, so who is the strongest between you two? Drake told him, it depends on our users. Sometimes I'm stronger, sometimes he's the strongest. There is some occasion that we are equal in strength, but they are really rare, and I cannot remember who won in the end. The Wizard King told him, I see, thank you. By the way, there is a banquet today, care to join us? They accept, but when they arrive, they see Yuno and his group. Yuno asks Asta what he's doing here. He tells him that he's here because he was summoned by the Wizard King. Then Asta returned the question and Yuno told him the same thing. Then when they arrive at the banquet, the Wizard King was summoned elsewhere. Everybody starts eating, or if they can, because everybody starts staring dagger at them, except Asta because he doesn't care. But when they start assaulting nowhere, Asta snap and tell them to shut it. The nobles did not take cuddly of that. They attack Asta, or try to. The second they attack him, Asta whip up his demon dweller sword and his boosted gear. And the same happened, the guy from the Golden Dawn attack him, and Asta cut his attack with ease. Then Noel's brother, not the Captain of Silver Phoenix, the other one, Joe attack him with his holy bullet. Asta returned the attack using his demon slayer sword, making him go on his knees. And Asta told him that he is going to become the Wizard Wizard King no matter what. Then the Captain Observer Phoenix slowly approaches, raising a bit of his mana on the air. Everybody can feel it, and Drake takes the opportunity. He raised a bit of his power in the air, and because of the overwhelming mana in the air because of Nozel, Drake power takes the shape of a dragon behind Asta, and Nozel take a form of a phoenix. They stare at each other. Everything starts shaking. Then Frigolion and Leopold intervene and tell everybody to cut it out. And Frigolion joined in by using his own magic to create a fiery lion. So right now it's a terrible fight between a dragon, a lion, and a phoenix. Then the fight was stopped by one of the guards barging in the room and tell them the capital is under attack. One of them created a replica of the capital using his sand magic, and somehow they decide to keep the castle safe. Asta yelled at them, telling them it's crazy, I'm going to save people. He boosts a couple of times and start running. Leopold admired Asta's courage. He follow him. He try at least because Asta is faster than him right now. Then they decide to split into teams and go around the capital. Meanwhile, Asta is cutting down zombies left and right, with Drake helping him about direction because Drake can sense magic. I did see that this one is a bit weird, more than usual, so bear with it. After a few seconds, he meets Hades, I believe that's his name. At first, Hades starts using normal zombies at Asta, but they are far too weak against him, so he decides to use his number 6. And immediately Drake warned Asta about his magic that he used. He can sense some type of curse in them. And like every villain, Hades tells him that the number 6 curse cannot be stopped when it touches you. Asta smiles him, thank you for affirmation, then tell Drake. Drake tell him, alright partner. Then the boosted gear go into her third mode or third level, give Asta a major power boost, and because that he got a lot faster. He speed toward number 6, and before he can react, cut him in half. Hades was taken out back by Asta's new speed. Hades was shocked by Asta's speed, then he told to himself, I don't need to be scared. I still have Halfred, and if he beat him, I have number 1. So he started by summoning Halfred, and Asta did have a problem with him because Asta cannot fly yet. So each time he started to attacking him, Halfred dodged it. Asta started thinking of a strategy to beat him. I know, Asta's strategy is a bit weird. So he pushed a couple of times and jumped toward Halfred, and he immediately dodged him. And right when he did that, Asta turned around and fired a dragon shot at him. And this attack did a severe damage on him, making him fall to the ground temporarily. Asta took the opportunity and fly at him and cut him with his sword, and he beat him. Hades started yelling and cursing at Asta, telling him, how can you defeat Halfred? Just who are you? Asta telling him, I am Asta from the Black Balls, and I am the next Red Dragon Emperor. Halfred was confused about the name Red Dragon Emperor. Does he mean the Wizard King or something? But he shook it off and told him, don't get cocky kid, I still have number 1. And he summoned it. And Hades knew that Asta anti-magic sword can easily cut through number 1 defenses. So he immediately ordered number 1 to fire long range attack at Asta. Asta tried his best to dodge them, but there is a lot of them. When he think he was done for, he was surrounded by a wall of flames. Then Frigolion slowly approached him and told him, sorry to barge into your fight, but I think you need assistant. Asta tell him, yeah, thanks for the help. Then Frigolion tell him, your name is Asta, right? Asta nod, and you want to become the Wizard King, so I think I am also your rival. Asta cannot help it and smile. Then Frigolion tell him, let me handle this. And like the enemy, he defeated him with ease. Asta was impressed, and Frigolion was also impressed by Asta. But right after that, Frigolion was teleported by a spatial magic. And I completely forgot, Leopold and Noel are still fighting that sludge monster, I believe. So yeah, that's still a thing. But like the enemy, they defeat him, especially when Frigolion see Asta's fight. But we got it off track, let's continue the story. After Frigolion was kidnapped, everybody's on guard because they know there is spatial magic user nearby. And Asta start hearing something beneath the corpses. He charged at the voice direction and hit the spatial magic user, making him run away and summon the rest of his group. But right before the fight starts, Frigolion reappeared missing an arm and almost bleeding to death. And when Leopold sees his brother on the ground, almost dead, or he thinks he's dead, he loses his fighting spirit. So meanwhile, it's only Asta versus 6 or 7 of the Midnight Sun. And Asta tell him, Drake, I think it's on us right now. Drake tell him, I'm with you partner, let's go. Asta start boosting more and more. At first the Midnight Sun were able to dodge Asta's attack, but when the fight goes on, Asta keep getting faster and faster, making it really hard to fight him, but they have strength in number. But right after that, Leopold got his second win and joined Asta in the fight. And with his that, they get the edge in the fight. Asta's speed and mobility and anti-magic with Leopold long range attack were able to beat two of Midnight Sun, making Sally, the crazy girl, summon her sticky salamander. Asta tried to cut it, but it kept healing itself. And because the sticky salamander is a water-based spell, Leopold's attack are not doing a lot of damage. But luckily the other Magic Knight captain appear finally, and they make the other 5 run away. So this time Asta was not kidnapped, but across the city Yuno still have his fight against that witch, I believe, and she hit him with a spell that make him lose his senses slowly. And after he lose all his senses, he starts feeling not one but 2 presence. The first one is coming right in front of him and the second one is in his right hand, but he can't see what's going on. But in the outside he just activate his dividing gear, I believe. Look, we don't have the exact name for Valley before he can go balance breaker, so deal with it. But like the enemy, he used a massive tornado made of spirit magic wind to beat that witch. Then he fall unconscious and making the gear disappear. So let's go back to Asta one more time. Empathy is looking at Frigonian on the ground, missing an arm. Noel brother and sister start making fun of him. Asta immediately tells him to shut it, or else. And his boosted gear start glowing without his knowing. Budun is a bit afraid right now. And when Nozara see Asta's boosted gear glowing, he tells his brother to shut it already. Then Vanessa start healing Frigonian and she tells him she's not strong enough to heal him. Asta tells her, I can help with that. And he put his hand on her and transfer his power to her, and that gave her a major power boost. She was easily able to heal Frigolion, but sadly he was still unconscious. Then she turned to Asta and told him, what was that? My magic power just got amplified significantly. What did you do? Asta told her I can call it the other ability of my boosted gear. I can transfer the power that I accumulate to anyone I'm touching, and because of that they got significantly more powerful, but it's only temporary until they consume the power. Vanessa blushed a bit because she thinks she have a bit of Asta instead of her, even though it was only temporary. And Noel being Noel, she do her own thing, like being at Tsundere. But they still rush Frigolion to the infirmary, just in case if they can do anything to wake him up. When they are waiting, Champy come with Yuno in tow, and he was unconscious. We ask her what happened, she tell them what happened about the fight between Yuno and that witch, and in the end she captured her. But the second Yuno passed by Asta, he immediately felt something. Drake tell him, partner, you felt it, right? Asta tell him, yeah, don't tell me. Drake tell him, I think he is the White Dragon Emperor. And I think I'm going to stop it right here. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, drop a like and tell me what you think of it in comment section. If you're new around here, consider subscribe and peace.